right, welcome back to It's Time Picks. We have UFC Singapore, which is a super early card on Saturday morning. Central Time, it starts at 4, so it's very early. That's 4 a.m., not 4 p.m. So it will start while most of us are still sleeping. Anyways, we have a pretty good card. Lots of at least decent fights, a couple boring fights. But it's Holloway in the main event. Holloway never is boring, so I can't wait for that one. Joey, how you feeling about this one?
Besides the overall start time of this damn card, which for me is 5 a.m. I'm an early bird anyway, but at the same time, I'm like, dang, man. Usually during fight cards, I want to have like a beverage, not a coffee. But yeah, okay, I'll mix it up with it.
Right. All right, well, let's kick right into it. First fight, we got Sungwoo Choi and Jarno Aarons. And right off the bat, I'm going to go and say that I have Choi. Choi has faced far stiffer competition. Could Aarons surprise us? Yeah. I mean, he's got some pretty good finishes to his name, but no big wins, nothing like that. Troy has lost 3 in a row, but they are two at least decent fighters. And, if he loses this one, it's more than likely his walking papers. So I think Troy's the better overall fighter in this one. Without a finish, I don't see a high score coming out of this for DFS purposes, but I like Troy.
So DFS, this is a dog or pass matchup for me personally for DFS. Um, Aaron's does have finish ability. He does have decent power in his hands. Could he rock Choi and then maybe go for his significant type of submission? Yes, he could. Um, I think Choi's a tad overrated personally. At least seen the last few fights. He leaves his chin there to get hit. He welcomes brawls, which as a fan we'd love to see. But for our DFS money or bets, we don't want to see that type of shit. All week I was on Choi, but I'm actually going Aaron's.
You're not gonna like that one. Aarons is gonna lose.
I think Aaron is more live for a finish than Choi. Choi's last 3 fights is look like he doesn't give a damn. Like he could have beat Trezano if he was more calculated in time, but he's like, you know what? No, I'm gonna go in and brawl. Which, like I said, as a fan, we love that shit. But for DFS, we don't want to see that shit.
All right, well, just like that, first fight, we are split. I've got the favorite in Choi. You have the dog in Aaron's. Next up, we have Liang Na and JJ Aldrich. And are you still favoring the dog in this one?
No, I hate to say it, I'm not a fan of Gigi Alder's style, but as long as she survives, probably the first what 2.5, 3 minutes. You see, Nas does tend to slow down, and I think Aldridge just can win a boring decision.
Unfortunately, I am in the same boat. I also have JJ Aldrich. I do like Liang Na as a GPP pick.
Yep.
She is a dangerous finisher. I think she's finished 17 of 19 wins. All of those wins have come out of the UFC. They're all against lower level competition, but we've seen JJ Aldrich get lackadaisical in the octagon. So it's really hard to trust Aldrich. But I mean, overall, she's the more consistent fighter. So she should win this. But like I said, I like Yang Na as a just a GPP dart throw.
I agree.
Um, Next up we have Yusaku Kinoshita and Billy Goff. Kinoshita is Japan's, up and coming prospect. He's supposed to be, electric and whatever. And, in his debut against Adam Fugit, I had Fugit in that one. It was a huge upset. And actually, I'm going against him again. I was on Kinoshita to start the week, but I'm now on Billy Goff. Um, there's a big reason for it too. You watch Kinoshita fight, and as the fight goes on, he drops his hands, and that's not going to be good news against Billy Goff. And Billy Goff has a chin. I went and watched some of his fights, man. He just sits there and eats it and eats it and eats it. And if Kinoshita can't put him out in the first round, Goff is going to win this fight.
I honestly do. Like I said, you pretty much stole the whole breakdown of my words. I am on the Billy Golf side as well. Um, I think Kenny She's a tad overrated as also, but he's like I said, he's still a young kid, so he can still grow and develop. I don't see the UFC giving up on him if he does lose his second one. It's only his second fight. Oh, excuse me. One thing I do like Billy Goff, he said his chin. He's durable. He can actually get it to the ground. He's actually a good wrestler if he does tend to use it. He can mix it up. And I think if Kenichi doesn't get him out early, as you said, I think Billy Goff can come in, and as you said, his hands slowly drop, drop, drop. I can easily see Billy Goff throwing an overhand, rocking him. And if he does take him down, he can finish him in any way. Even though Billy Goff doesn't have submissions, BJJ's but I think he'll just rock him and just ground and pound him. It could have happened in round one too. I think it's easily because
Oh, absolutely. I do think this is a fight that you should target for any contest,
yes.
specifically GPP, just because of the amount of well, the pace of this fight's gonna be pretty high. So, and
Oh
somebody's
yeah.
likely to get knocked out. So, both of us going with the dog and Billy Goff. Next up, we have Kenan Song and Rolando Bedoya. Where are you at on this one?
I'll honestly say this is probably one of my easier picks on the card. Bendoya is gonna do whatever he wants. I don't know if he gets a finish, maybe he gets a late one, but I think Bedoya just gonna outvolume the whole fight.
Yeah, I agree. Kenan Song kind of seems just like he's like a staple in the division, but he's like a bottom feeder staple. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
He doesn't get any of the high profile fights. I mean, I guess he had Ian Gary, but that was as Gary was climbing up. But otherwise, he really doesn't get a lot of high profile fights. He does have some decent wins to his name. There's no doubting that. He is a talented fighter, but like you said, I think Bedoya just outvolumes him, and I'm not sure. I really don't see a finish coming in this fight.
I don't either.
I think it's likely gonna go 15 minutes, and unless Bedoya puts up 150 strikes, I don't. He's definitely not going to pay off his
And
tag.
maybe a knockdown or two, maybe, but he'll need like a knockdown or two plus the
Yeah,
volume. And then he can maybe get like the near the 110 range to pay it off. But this 9K range as a whole, you're
yeah,
gonna see in the video when we break it down. It's gonna be a tricky week for the 9K for the most part.
it's a tricky card pricing wise in general, but I don't see Bedoya paying off unless he gets a
No,
first finish.
I agree.
Next up, we have Chidi Jokwani and Michael Olasechek. And once again, you'll find me on the side of Olasechek. I just think that don't get me wrong, Jokwani's going to have plenty of chances in this fight. He does. He's a rangy boxer. He will likely keep this from range. He'll probably get us the chin a few times. But overall, I think that Olasechek is the much better boxer. And this is likely going to be 15 minutes of striking, and he's the better striker. So I'm gonna stick with him. I think this fight is pretty much a pick 'em, so it's kind of just pick your side. But unfortunately, without a finish in this fight, it's probably not going to score well at all because neither guy throws a ton. So you're looking for a knockout.
So you pretty much stole how my breakdown was gonna say. I originally during the beginning league I had Cheaty because if you evaluate both fighters, I would say Cheaty is slightly the better grappler if and he does have takedown upside if he decides to use it, which we haven't seen in the UFC quite yet because he's been mainly just been knocking people out when he does win. And but I do think Olajicek's gonna be the faster fighter. He's gonna chop down
Yep.
Cheaty with the kicks and go in and out and box. And as you said, if there's no finish, I don't see this price paying off. But I am slightly on Olajicek.
Yep, and I think that's the right way to go. If you look at the Joe Kawani fight against Rodriguez, Rodriguez did knock him out in the second round, and that was just with clean striking right down the middle, and that's exactly how Olasechek throws. So definitely siding with him. Next up, we have Toshiomi Kazama against Garrett Armfield. And are you still riding with Kazama?
Oh yeah, he's one of my more dogs. I'm gonna be exposing myself to. And one thing that you've seen about Garrett Armfield, nothing against David Oyama because I am an Oyama backer. He was able to take down Armfield, but he was mainly taking him down with, okay, I'm bigger, stronger than you. But he did show that when he gets pressure coming forward, he does tend to show up. And if you do that against Kazama has good, well-timed takedowns. He can throw heavy, but he means he's going to try to throw heavy to close the distance, to close clinch, get a trip or get a takedown. And I think once the fight's on the ground, and especially if Armfield on his back, I think Kazama is going to take a matter of time until he finishes him. He's very talented BJJ specialist.
Alrighty. I no longer agree with it.
What?
I am all over Armfield. Like you said, Kazama is very dangerous on the ground, and there's no doubt that if he gets it there, he could get a submission. Armfield could too, but Armfield is leagues better in the striking department, and all he has to do is keep the standing upright, and he'll easily win this. The other reason I like Armfield, you brought up Unama in his debut. Armfield went up to 145 in that fight. He's back at his normal weight of 135. I think he just destroys Kazama.
Hmm. Is he? So you're saying that he's probably one of your favorite AK plays?
Now he is, yeah,
Yeah.
better than a lot of these other guys.
Yes, I agree with that.
The pricing is so difficult on this one.
Hmm.
Right. So we are split on this one. I have Garrett Armfield, and you have the dog in Toshiomi Kazama.
See.
Next up, we have Waldo Cortez Acosta against. I'm just gonna say Brzezinski because his first name is not pronounced correctly. I don't like this fight for a lot of reasons. And when you watch Waldo Cortez Acosta fight, he's all gas, all striking the entire time. He doesn't check leg kicks. And if he's not going to check leg kicks against Brzezinski, he might run into trouble. Brzezinski has a really, really strong leg kick. And if he sits there and just chops his legs this whole time, it's going to open him up to a lot of possibilities. Um, that said, I am on Cortez Acosta. I do think that he'll have more volume, but if he gets into trouble with those leg kicks right away, we could see a knockout coming from Brzezinski. Not likely because he's just really not that great of a fighter. And who knows? Cortez Acosta, maybe he'll actually check some kicks in this one. He hasn't done it in a single fight so far. So you'd think at one point, he'd learn. We'll see in this one, but I got Cortez Acosta.
I'm also on Cortez Acosta. But one thing I will say, if you're trying to get to some of these big plays and you potentially want someone that can even score okay in a loss, Bresky at 71 is not a bad option. To me, this is a dog or pass fight. If you're asking me to pick a side for you, I'm picking the dog money for salary. But I thought Bresky beat Martin Boudet and he would have scored decent at dog money. Could it be similar to that fight where he just check kicks, throws 1-2s? If he gets the kicks going, the cost is going to slow down. Bresky could be live for a later finish. And even no matter how he wins, if he does volume like he did against Boudet in a win, he's going to score decent decision. If he even gets a finish 7,100, he's going to be automatically make optimal. So, but I don't see that. I think Acosta is going to come in after that loss, his first loss in the UFC and first loss of his career. I think he's going to come back with a vengeance, but I think he's just going to try to come back with a win. I'm not paying 91. I prefer him at like a low 8K to dog money. Then, you could get my interest a little bit, but no, he's too high.
And you could argue that he did win that fight against Rogerio de Lima because he didn't, de Lima didn't do anything on the ground when he had him there. He just had 5 minutes of control time and just held him. So, I mean, it could have gone either way. But yeah, in this one, I definitely have the favorite.
I agree.
Next up, we have the brother to Justin Taffa, Junior Taffa, against Parker Porker. Where are you at?
So this is one of the fights where, I put this is pure GPP. If Taffa's going to win, my due diligence thinks is he's going to get done in round 1. But who's the pure better MMA fighter is Parker Porter. But I'm going Taffa. I hate to do it because I know people that I know are friends with Porter, but if Porter doesn't get to take down early, and for the most part, Taffa showed decent takedown defense until later until he got tired. But if he doesn't get takedown early, it could look very similar to Junior Taffa's brother fight with Porter. It made me say Porker. Goddamn. But Jesus Christ. But yeah, I think there's a chance that and I'll save my bold prediction for later for one of these. I have 2 of them, but I think Taffa's live in round 1.
That's fair. I completely agree. Justin Taffa did knock him out. That said, I once again have Parker Porker.
Wait, yeah, Porter?
I do. I will continue to just take him because he's really, people give him crap.
He's not bad.
Whatever, but he's really not a bad fighter. He he came out and he knocked out, who was it? Braxton Smith in that last fight.
Yeah, bum.
Everybody was on Braxton because Braxton had these huge, massive power punches.
I don't think I was.
We both did, I'm pretty sure. Or whatever. Either way, Braxton got tired really quick. Parker Porter knocked him out. and we could actually see something very similar to that. Junior Tafa is still not tested. I mean, Usman beat him. He took him to the ground and just walloped away at him. And I honestly think we could see something extremely similar. It's only going to take one. Porter's fast. I mean, for a
Yeah.
heavyweight, he's got some speed. If he's in the pocket and he avoids getting hit, he's going to win this fight. That's his key. Avoid taking one directly to the face, and he wins. Done. So I'm on the dog. I like Parker Porter. Another one we're split on. You got the favorite, and
Yep.
Junior Tafa. I've got Porter. Next up, we got Aaron Blanchfield. Our girl's back on the card, and Tyler Santos. Did you change? I'm obviously on Blanchfield. That's never going to change. I've been on her since fight one. I will continue to say that she's going to have the belt. I have said it every time we've had a video, every time I've written an article. Blanchfield's been my girl. I've said it a million times. She's going to get that belt. This fight right here should have title implications. The winner of this fight should be the next fighter for the belt after Grasso and Shevchenko have their bout again. And this should be Blanchfield all day. You say Tyler's better in the striking department. I disagree. I think Blanchfield is just right there with her. She has avoided every big shot from every fighter she has fought, and she has dominated the ground game. So I've got Blanchfield all day.
Plainfield. Come on, I can't go against my Jersey girl. Stop it. But no, I do think like if you're telling me a 15-minute striking match, I do favor Talia. She's more versatile in the strikes, but what we've seen in previous fights, Blanchfield's striking has evolved. She was hitting and clipping Andrade, where everyone thought Andrade was untouchable during that fight, and she rocked the shit out of Andrade. She got her to the ground and bread and butter submission.
Through
And
5 wins, dude, she's still averaging over 6 strikes a minute, 6 significant
yeah,
strikes a minute.
that's crazy thing. Now her striking is actually developing. Before she would just throw to get closer to a takedown. Now she's throwing and landing. So her striking is evolving. But I can't go against my girl Blanchfield. That's Jersey strong right there. I can't do that.
Yep. And at 8,300, she's a steal
Five.
on DraftKings, 8,500, whatever it is. Anytime that girl's in the 8,000s, you play her. Done. That's the second fight on the main card. Both of us going with our girl Erin Blanchfield. Next up, we have a very easy fight to call. We got Rinya Nakamura, Fernie Garcia. We don't really need to say a whole lot about this. Garcia is whatever. He's getting a really shitty fight here. Nakamura is absolutely absurd. Are you still on him?
Am I still on him? I've been on him. But yeah, it's easy Nakamura. I feel bad because I don't think Fernie on paper is a bad fighter. But you're not getting okay, come on, this is my third fight. If he loses this one, that's 3 in a row, and usually, 3 strikes you're out. But I think my only problem is how is Nakamura gonna fight this fight? Because yes,
I don't think it matters.
So no, listen. The only reason I say this is because you're gonna have to have a decision between him and Max. And if Nakamura goes in there and he did just chin what's his name under 30 seconds. Fernie's never been finished. But the only thing is I don't want Rinya striking for a whole 15. Because think about it, if we're getting 9,600, we need another quick finish, which I don't even know is doable. It's possible. You've seen Nakamura has insane power. But my problem is after that minute mark, what if he's still striking? And he's like, you know what? I'm not going to turn this into a wrestling match. I'm going to test my striking. He's not paying off 96 unless he gets knockdowns. And that's my only worry. But from what I see on most game plans through his run through the road to the UFC, he didn't have to use his wrestling. He just used his insane power. I'm still picking Nakamura. But
the first fight, he had 2 takedowns, submission, and it was a key lock in 3 minutes. Second fight, it was 2 knockdowns and done in the first 2 minutes. And then in the last fight, we all saw he had the quick win bonus to Kazama. He knocked him out in 33 seconds with 2 knockdowns. This kid is impressive. He's going to do it again. Lock him in. Call it a day. So both of us going with the favorite, Rinya Nakamura. Next up, we've got Giga Chikadze. He's finally back after his pretty disgusting death against Calvin Kattar. Though he did fight that fight well, there's no denying it. Calvin Kattar is a top 5 fighter. He is always a title challenger. He'll just never get it because of who's above him. But Cal Cater is an extremely good fighter. Chikadze is going against Bruce Leroy Alex Caceres. And I know you mentioned that you were thinking about going with Caceres again. I still think you're nuts. Chikadze is going to kick the shit out of him, literally kick, because that's where all of his power is. Chikadze has just nasty kicks, just like he finished Barbosa and made it look simple. I think he does the same thing here.
So I was on Caceres, but like I said, what is Kiga gonna look like after his first UFC loss? I
He'll be
know
fine.
some people bounce back, some people take a little decrease.
It's not like he got knocked out in that.
No, but he did, get absolutely beaten up on the whole entire fight. But I think that was a little too soon of a step up for him. He took a big step going into that fight, and Cater pretty much told him, "Hey, you don't got your welcome card yet into this top range." But he did show toughness in that fight. He didn't give up. He fought when he was able to fight. I'm hoping he doesn't have any type of rust, but
He will.
just watching other
It
fights,
hasn't been that.
I don't know if he finishes Caceres personally. I'll give Caceres credit. He is tough. He's durable as hell. He's always find his way in a fight. I'm slightly going Chiga, but I'm not playing him anywhere.
That's fair. I think that he knocks Caceres out, so
Not with the afro.
he's gonna knock that afro right off his head. I will say that behind Jikadze and all I believe it's the Georgians. He's Georgian, right? Pretty sure that's
I
right.
think so. Him and Roman Dolidze are, I think.
Well, so is Wallace Really.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Georgians and their fans they have one of the best fan bases in all of MMA. It's pretty nuts. So he's always fun to watch. He'll have a lot of people supporting him. Both of us going with Giga Chikadze. Next up, we got Anthony Smith and Ryan Spann. Where you at?
So the first fight, Anthony Smith, it looked simple. Rocked him twice, got the submission, round one. But ever since that fight, Anthony Smith's health bar kept going beep, beep, beep. I think, Ryan Spann's going to get his rebound win. I think you're going to have to try to get to one of these guys. Because I think, people say, oh, Spawn's mainly round one. Okay, you're telling me he gets round one finish. He's making optimal 8,300. He'll probably end up maybe getting a knockdown because Smith's striking defense has been terrible lately. I think maybe a ground and pound finish or Spawn. But either way, I think he gets to finish round one. So I'm going to definitely try to get to this fight. And all GPP contests is definitely a pick your side fight. If you're an Anthony Smith backer, do you think he can easily repeat it? Who knows? Is it doable? Yes. Because Spawn does tend to slow down eventually.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I'm also in Spann. He's gone 6 fights in a row with those fights ending in the first round, and I do think that continues. He has looked much better in his last 3 fights. Yeah, he got submitted against Krylov. That was a really challenging fight, grappling wise. Krylov has also stepped up a lot. It's the complete opposite of what Anthony Smith has done. There's a lot of people calling for Anthony Smith to retire and just stick with broadcasting. I don't necessarily disagree with them. He has completely lost his last 2 fights. It's been really shitty to see. And if Spann comes in and knocks him out, this could be Smith's last fight. He could lay the gloves down. I would not be surprised. But we'll see how it goes. Both of us going with Spann. Next up, we got
Hold on. But one thing I will say, like I said, I like Anthony Smith as a fighter. No matter who he fights, he's always bringing a fight to somebody. I just hope, if Spawn does beat him, he's not going to be like the new modern day Ferguson, where to keep him around to lose 5, 6, 7, 8 fights in a row, just because of how exciting the name brand and his fight style is. If he does lose, that's going to be his 4th straight. Last fight was one of the worst performances because he kept trying to headhunt and run his mouth, and clearly none of that worked against Johnny Walker. And yeah, just to go on to the next fight. Go ahead.
All right, both of us going with Ryan Spann. Next up, we have the main event with Max Holloway and the
Korean Zombie.
Yes, sir. TKZ, he's a huge fan favorite, just like Max Holloway it is. This is a shitty this is shitty matchmaking. I mean, I get it, but at the same time, I don't get it. Holloway's will pretty much always be the number one contender in this division as long as Volkanovski's above him. TKZ's a good fighter. Zombie does what Zombie does. Unfortunately, he has a negative strike differential, and that just is a massive avenue for Holloway to rack up 150 plus strikes in 5 rounds, and I could see him eclipsing 200 again in this one. Um, it's I mean, if Zombie comes out and implements some wrestling, could he have a chance? Absolutely. That's going to be his best way to victory, but this is Holloway all day.
I 100% agree. It's like, and one thing
It
I knew about,
sucks picking against Zombie.
yeah, I'm picking against Zombie.
No,
It's
it
like,
sucks too.
yeah, I know, but I'm not gonna lie. One thing I thought Zombie had a better UFC record. He's 7-4.
That's because he's lost to Volkanovski. He lost
Yep.
to T City. He lost to Yair, who has, is whatever. And he lost to Jose Aldo.
Yeah.
He's lost to 4 champions of the division,
Yep. And here's about to be 5.
unfortunately.
So the only thing is I think Holloway to pay this off. I think he's gonna have to go all 5, pure volume, almost how he did against Calvin Cater type of fight. But that's how I thought originally how I thought this fight was gonna be. Because Zombie's tough, you can't just put him away. Holloway doesn't have the best power, but like I said, it's pure volume, 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 touching, touching. And there's 2 ways I thought. Either it could be the Cater fight, while Zombie just keep walking forward and Holloway just backing up, throwing jabs, jabs, jabs. Or what if this is really Zombie's last fight? He really actually tries to go balls to the wall. And this fight is somewhat similar to Holloway and Arnold Allen. Then at 9,700, he does how he did against Arnold Allen. I don't even think he scored over 100 points. I think he scored like 87, 88. Could he be in line for that? That's how I'm trying to evaluate the matchup because, in all honesty, unless you like a lot of dogs on this card, it's going to be hard to get to Holloway and Nakamura.
It's hard to get to, yeah, either. It's hard to even get to one of them if I mean, depending on what dog you're on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. I do think Holloway has a chance to eclipse 200 significant strikes in this one, which would put him well over value. It's really going to come down to TKZ, but both of us going with Max Holloway. It's relatively a safe pick. Unfortunately, Holloway is 9,700.
Ugh.
Yeah, so that wraps up that. If I was going to pick a favorite dog, I actually think that I'd go with Billy Goff. Um, if you plan on doing that, I will go with Parker Porter.
Yeah, I was leaning more towards the golf, but only thing I'm gonna say about the golf thing, the whole golf fight scenario, that is a fight. If you're if you're somebody that plays multiple lines, I would definitely get exposure to both because, like I said, Billy Golf does get clipped early. And is it possible that he could get knocked out walking into one of the punches? Very possible because Zama has power. But from what I've seen in Billy Golf, the only TK you're gonna look at his record saying, "Oh, but he has that 1L on his TK." That was a doctor stoppage because of a cut. He wasn't flatlined or by any means. But I do like Golf. And my bold prediction. Do you want to go first or I say mine? There's a chance in this one fight, and it's where you have Porter. I got Tafa. I said there's a chance in that fight if Porter doesn't try to close his distance early and guard his chin. I really do believe that Tafa could be live for the 60-second knockout.
Yes, I mean, there's no doubt about it. His brother did it, but his brother is also slightly better than him.
Just pure boxing, but boxing and kickboxing too different. But I would say his older brother definitely has the more power.
Absolutely. Um, I, as far as something, like a hot take, just throwing it out there.
Oh,
I
I do have
maybe
one more, but you can go.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Garrett Armfield, first round knockout.
Okay. How I broke that fight down was if whoever side can get to it, if Armfield can get close the distance, get the hands going, he's gonna knock him out. If Kasama gets to him, clinch, takedown, probably gonna be a sub. But that's not my bold prediction. I think that's obvious if you look how both of those styles are. This one is gonna potentially be a low owned, and let's see if I get on this streak right. I think this fight is gonna end before round 3. Jarno Evans overhands Singyo Choi.
Yeah, you're out of your mind.
No, the
Unless you
only
keep
reason I like because think about it. Last Choi's 3 fights, he leaves his hands down, chin around to get hit. Look, if you're getting knocked up by Chisano, I don't think Chisano's a good power person by any means. Jarno got power. All
so
it's
does
gonna
Choi.
take. I think Choi's overrated.
You're overrated.
I probably am. That's why you don't see me engage.
I'm locking in Blanchfield. That's my lock of the card. I will continue to do so.
My lock of the card. I know I said
Nakamura is the easy one, so we're not gonna do
yeah.
that.
I'm not gonna try to go there. That's pretty simple. Let me look at this matchup real quick one last time. I'm gonna go Ryan Spann as my lock.
I agree with
I
that.
really think he could. I'm predicting maybe he gets a knockdown or two. Scores between like what maybe 105 to 115.
Especially if the same Smith that we've been seeing shows up. It's gonna
Yes,
be
that's like none against him.
bad.
I'm not even trying to talk shit about him, but that's terrible.
So that wraps up this card. Next week we move to Gon and Spivak. Hold up here.
France card.
Yep. Oh yeah, Thug Rose is back on this. She's gonna get her
Ugh.
ass kicked. Sorry
Yep.
for all you Thug Rose fans, but she's going to. Fyodo's a fucking beast.
Yep.
See, we got St. Denny, Tiago's back. Not super exciting as far as cards go.
Bivak and Don.
The prelim fights are not fun at all. Okay, well, I'm not looking forward to next week's card, but here we are.
I haven't even looked at it yet. I just know that I think William Gomez is on that card somewhere.
He is. He's on the main card actually.
Ooh, good for him.
So, alrighty. Well, as always, Les Joy, you got anything else to say? Anything
No.
else to add? All right.
Nope.
Well, as always, we appreciate you watching, and we will catch you next week.